Friends, it's Terry Gaines, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. In this video tutorial, I'm going to share a card created with some product in Stampin' Up's January through April 2026 mini catalog. I'm going to be using designer series paper that's in the Nature Walk suite. The designer series paper has the same name as the suite. The suite is all of this product that you can purchase with one code, or you can purchase the items individually. As I mentioned, I'm going to use the designer series paper and the die set that's in the bundle. You bundle the stamp set and dies for a 10% savings, or you can purchase them separately. And as I mentioned, you can purchase all of the product individually. I'm also going to be using the dies that are in the Made with Love suite collection, and I'm just going to be using the dies and a few other products. I will be putting all the Stampin' Up! Product that I used on the bottom of the video tutorial and on the bottom of the corresponding blog post. So let me share the designer series paper. I made this sampler. The paper is 12 by 12. I just cut 3-inch sections. So this is the front side of all the different papers. You get 2 each of the 6 double-sided prints. And then on the back side, there is another print, kind of like a background print. Actually, I would say all of this paper could be used as background prints. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be using this print, but I also have designed the same card, and when I'm all done, I'm going to show you how I also did the same card using this print in different colors. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be using the dies, and I'm only going to use this die. I already die cut that cutting that out of gold foil. So it's a good size. That's your card base. And that's a good size design. I only need one of those for the project. Now, if you've not watched my previous tutorials, maybe you haven't seen how I put my dies together. They are going to arrive on this white cardboard like this. It's actually the original one with some strong tape on it. Before I removed the dies, I photocopied it, and then I cut that copy paper down, and I took the dies off, and between the cardboard and the copy paper sandwiched in there are magnetic sheets. I just get the magnetic sheets from Amazon. I've been getting this brand. This particular package is 8 by 10, 15. They're adhesive back. I just look for something that's going to tell me it's a strong magnet, and they're working out well for me. The main reason I love them is it lets me know I'm missing a die before I put my dies away. So that is how I have that. For this die set, I'm just going to be using this large heart. So I've got this cut. I've talked about that. My card base is cut to size. I'll talk about the designer series paper in a moment and the card base. But I cut this heart out of mossy metal cardstock that I thought went very well with this designer series paper print. And then I also cut just a smaller section. I only needed part of it. And I cut that out of the designer series paper. To maximize the designer series paper and for what I felt was appropriate for the card, I have a 1-inch strip. That's the height of my card base, which is 5.5. I've already cut my Very Vanilla to be 8.5 by 5.5, scored it at 4 1/4, and folded it. So and then also let me talk about these pieces. These are the other pieces for the project. I cut very small strips of the Very Vanilla cardstock, and I stamped these ahead of time with mossy metal ink pad, and I stamped one of them that says Sending Love, and I thought that was appropriate because there's going to be a heart on the card. And then I also used this For You, but this is one stamp. It says I'm here for you. I want to let you know that on a regular basis, I will cut my sentiments. I'm not sure if it shows in the camera. I make like a puzzle cut to it. That way I can use it, just the For You, or I can puzzle piece this back together and use it as the original stamp. So that's how I did that, and that's done ahead of time. Now let me show you how I'm going to assemble this. I do need to do a little bit of work with the card base. What I'm going to do is put my adhesive on the back side of my designer series paper. And it is going to be, as I mentioned, the same height as my card. I'm going to move it over about 1/4 inch from the fold of the card and adhere this. Now, what I do want to do is add some texture to this. And I want to use an embossing folder, and I'm going to grab it out of my little stash here. I've been really loving this exposed brick embossing folder. It's in the annual catalog. It's kind of like the 6x6 size, so you can orient your card either direction. And I like it for a subtle design. I want some subtlety to this card, so I'm going to put my entire card in here and run it through my cut and emboss machine. So I'm going to place that in here. I am going to bring in my cut and emboss machine and do this part on the video. For the 3D embossing folder, you use platform 1, which is this, and sandwich the folder and the paper between that and plate 4. So I'm going to set that up. I always put the fold end in first, and I don't put anything way up to the fold. That adds too much restriction, or I can't think of the right word to use, but it can, it's harder to put through, but also it could start wearing on your embossing folder. So it is a double thick card. I did use the regular Fairy Vanilla. It's not the thick cardstock. So now I have texture on the outside, including the texture went on that designer series paper. And then I have texture on the inside. Well, I can't write on that. So what I do have, and did I move that? Oh goodness, I had it here, and then oh, here it is, I think. Oh goodness, I did move it. I had pre-cut here it is, a piece of 3 by 4 1/4. I use that size for the inside of my cards because I can maximize it. I can get 6 of these per 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. And what I like about it is I still see the card base, and it's just a nice decorative part. So that is the card like so. So now what I'm going to do is take these two, and I'm going to adhere these two together. But before I do that, I'm going to tear the top part of this. Now, if I hold on to it and tear this small part towards me, I'm going to see the inside of the paper, which is white, and I don't want that. So I'm going to take and start tearing and move it backwards or towards the back. If I move it to the back, I get my torn edge, but I don't get that white core like this right here. If I tore it towards me, I would get that. Now I want to adhere this together. Now what I'm also going to let you know is I'm going to tuck this inside here. So I don't want to put adhesive right in this area. I'm just going to take this, put my adhesive towards the bottom, and then I'm going to layer this, and I can match up those little openings, get that attached, and I'm going to put it kind of so I see the white in the back, get the white or the vanilla in the back, then I can see if I got my alignment. So I've got it like this. Now I'm also going to add a little bit of decoration, but also it's going to help me adhere the top part. We have this Early Espresso and Old Olive linen combo pack. You get both colors, and I'm going to use the Old Olive. I'm going to get it started. This is a brand new package, and I'm going to thread it through those holes. Well, it's going to be hard for me to thread this. I like using these dental floss threaders. You find them in the dental section of a department store and Target or Walgreens, wherever you shop. You put the thread through the loop, and then it becomes a needle. So I'm going to thread this through on the right side across to the back, and I'm going to say I can see This is the hole I want to come through. And oh goodness, I went through the hole, but I let go of the string. Make sure the string stays in that loop and it becomes like a needle threader. Now I have that threaded through. I'm going to put that aside. Now what I'm going to do is tie a knot or tie a bow. So I'm going to give you a couple tips on this. So sometimes when you go to tie your bow or your knot, you could tie a knot and then the bow. I tend to like to just tighten it and tie my bow. If you tie a knot, then you can work with it easier. But I actually like doing it this way. Now let's say I put this bow on here and I did not get it very tight. Let's say I put this bow on here. I'm gonna get it all adjusted first and then I'll explain. Cut the tails. Let's say I had a lot of give here. Maybe I do have a little bit. How you can handle that is turn it over, take a dimensional, put a dimensional on one side that you are securing that, then pull on the other side, and then when you get it nice and tight as you want it, you have the excess in the back and you have it nice and tight in the front. So that's a good tip for if you have problems with that. And I will tell you, a lot of times I do, and that is a solution and how I handle that. And I'm going to add a couple more. I'm going a little bit maybe overboard, more dimensionals than I need, but I'm going to put dimensionals as I just did here. These are, I love these. These add dimension to your project, and they're the adhesive then to layer your projects or layer your pieces together. And then I'm going to attach this. So now it's just kind of a judgment how high you want it. I don't want to go too high because I'm going to put some of that gold greenery in there. So I think I'm going to go about right like that. Now what I'm going to do is take this. Now I could just put it in there and have it like this. Need to make sure everything stays within the border of the card base so it fits in an envelope. But what I'm going to do is take my scissors and cut this apart. So I'm going to take and cut the right at the bottom when you have the two sprigs like this. So that one is going to be good. This one, I know if I tuck it in, I'm going to really hide these bottom three leaves. So I'm going to just cut them apart. I'm going to cut this one off, but I cut into this one and into that way so I can use that as a decorative piece. So I turned that one larger one into three. The first one I cut off is going to go on the right. The bigger of the other two is going to go on the left. What I'm going to do is just tuck it in like this. I'm going to tuck it in like this. And then what I do is I take my mini dimensionals and I take the backing off of one and I get the backing off. And then I take that and then I tuck that in. I want that leaf to show a little bit. If it's all within the card, then I'm going to lift up that leaf and attach that. I'm going to take another backing off. I'm taking the backings off before I put them in the back of that leaf, just because it's easier to get it's hard to get the backing off if you adhere to one. Now this leaf is hanging over, but I don't want, it's fragile here. I don't want it to break. So I'm going to take two dimensionals, the standard dimensionals, take the backings off and stack them double high, because this is on with dimensionals, this is attached with dimensionals. Then I can take that double high, tuck it underneath there, and now that's nice and secure. I'm not worried about this leaf and that one that's partially tucked inside. I'm going to take this smaller one, tuck that one right here, take a small dimensional, take the backing off of that, and just put one dimensional behind this greenery. Those other two are small enough, I'm not worried about. They're not going to come out. Then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to do the same thing. So this does take a little bit of time. If you wanted to, you could put like mini glue dots back here. Now the reason I'm doing it this way, if I put dimensionals or adhesive on it and then tucked it in, then if that adhered, if it all bonded everything, then I'm committed to where it went in. This way I can put it in, I can lift those leaves up, adhere them, and have more flexibility of moving things around. That's how I'm looking at it. So that's why I do it this way, and I'm 100% okay. I'm doing it. So I've got that done. Now we're down to these little strips that I've stamped ahead of time. Now this one I'm going to put on with dimensionals, so I'm going to take it and I'm going to put this flush to this card base edge and then just tear that. I'm going to turn it upside down. It is sized that I can fit my mini dimensionals here. If you don't have mini dimensionals, you want to duplicate this project, you can cut your standard dimensionals in half and utilize those. But since I have some mini dimensionals, I'm going to just use these. I'm going to put this flush to the card edge over here and right like that. And for this, I'm going to use a mini glue dot, which is on a roll. You get 250 of these. Now what I'm going to do for this one, I think I'll just tear it. I had been cutting it onto a little point because I'm going to tuck it underneath here. Actually, I'm going to go back to what I was doing before. I cut it on like a little arrow type position. Take a mini glue dot. I typically bring my project to the mini glue dot. You can use take your pick tool to help get it off. They're really strong. You probably only need one, but I find if you put one spot of adhesive on, it can swivel. If you want to anchor things, put two things. I'm going to put it right behind that knot, and then I have my finished card. So I have my card all done, and as I mentioned, you can open it up here, and this is where you can sign. Now if I wanted to stamp, I should have stamped this very vanilla before I adhered it. Now this is the same layout, but just with that other designer series paper. And I do want to let you know that I did take a blending brush. A blending brush is a brush like this, went into my early espresso ink and I darkened this strip, and I did not texturize this one. I texturized the card base first, then adhered this strip. I did the reverse here. I adhered the paper as I showed you in the tutorial. So the very same card layout, the very same packet of designer series paper, the very same packet of the baker's twine, gold foil, same stamp set, and two different looks for the same card. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. All the supplies I used will be in the bottom of the text portion of the YouTube video and the bottom of my blog post. There'll be a photo of the cards on my blog post, and you can find that by going to the text portion of the YouTube video with a direct link to that blog post. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you want to learn more about this product, on the bottom of both of those, the blog post and YouTube video, will be a direct link to the online store to get all the details about the product. Reach out if you have any questions. Take care and happy creating.